Hello and welcome to Crosstalk. This is Enterprise TV. Kingsley Bass is my name. Let's dissect key national matters with insightful discussions and, of course, have some good time this lovely day. Well, today we turn our focus to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's short work visit to Paris in France. According to the Special Advisor on Information and Strategy, the famous Bayo Ononuga, this visit is a strategic retreat. And what's the goal? To praise the administration's mid-term performance, assessing reforms and planning for the next phase of governance. That sounds familiar, doesn't it? But yeah, with Nigeria facing pressing economic and political challenges, this visit, this particular one, raises several important questions. And we're going to pose some of them before we get down to the conversation. What impact will this review have on governance? And this review is happening in Paris, France, right? How do these reforms affect the average Nigerian? And what should citizens expect in the coming months? Since there's going to be a review, it means that, there will be something to follow that. Well, it's not my take you'll be hearing on the program. Well, you'll get to hear the takes of two very patriotic gentlemen, passionate about governance, about good governance, I must say, in the country. And doesn't matter what stance they take on this particular conversation. I tell you that I know these gentlemen and they are very passionate about good governance. They want the very best for this country. Well, let's welcome my guests today. Again, two fine gentlemen. One, they're both political commentators, so I'll just begin with Prince Francis Chilaka. Thank you so much for joining me.
Pastor, thank you. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Hope you're well yourself.
Baraka de Salah.
Same to you. That should come with you throwing some piece of meat at me, but yeah, thank you.
No, there's nothing. There's no meat. This is dry fasting salad, no meat.
Okay.
We finished the fasting and then we did fasting again, to continue.
All right. Also part of the conversation today is political commentator Gbenga Ononuga Paul. Gbenga, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me. Good afternoon, and good afternoon, Prince Francis Chilaka.
My brother, how are you?
Fine, sir.
All right.
I can see you're not looking like a Nigerian, though.
How do Nigerians look?
Hunger and starvation. With frustration.
You don't look that way yourself. You don't look that way yourself.
Less with frustration.
You don't look that way yourself. Look at your cheeks and your beards. Your beards are well trimmed, looking good. It feels like you pay.
Other one are camouflage.
All right. To begin the conversation, yes, we turn to something which is definitely a fact, and that is a trip of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I'll turn to you, Prince Francis Chilaka, on this one first. How do you feel? Where do you stand on the president's trip again to Paris, France, for a work visit?
This is, if we do the mathematics well, this is the 25th international trips this presidency has embarked upon last 2 years, close to 2 years. And this is also the 5th trip to France in particular. For me, you don't chase a rat when your house is on fire. I am miffed. I am very, very upset. Words cannot describe how I feel. At a time when things are not working well in Nigeria, when people are still complaining, when there's so much insecurity and all of that, Mr. President is going to France. And to rub salt on injury, we have been told that he's going to France to reflect on his ongoing reforms and key national development priorities for the year ahead. I mean, it's not an embarrassment. Have you seen the American president come to Nigeria or the French president come to Nigeria to reflect on the reforms that they're putting in place? How can your president leave Nigeria? You have Obudukato Ranch. You have other places that the president could have gone to. When the American president wants to go and reflect, he doesn't go to any other country. He goes to Camp David. He goes to somewhere within the American province. So why would our own president be leaving the shores of Nigeria to go and think and reflect on Nigeria? It doesn't make sense. It's not economically viable for us. You know, it simply shows that this presidency is all about cruising and enjoyment and, you know, nothing else. Because I do not understand why at this point in time is when the president will now say he's going on a 2 weeks working visit. I mean, what stops him from coming to Lagos to do the working visit? What stops him from going to, you know, up north, Bombay, Taraba, Jos? So why is it that our president is not promoting our internal tourism? Do you know the kind of resources, the kind of income that will come if the president goes to Obudukato Ranch? It will be a very busy place. And then you see a lot of, you know, people coming there to see him, to help him do the reflection. So this whole idea of our leaders going abroad at every point in time, it simply shows that, you know, they don't even have patriotism running through their blood veins.
All right, Benga, let me turn to you now. You've heard from Prince Francis Chilaka. Where do you stand? How do you feel about this trip? Why should the president be leaving Nigeria? As Prince Francis Chilaka said, leave the shores of Nigeria for a work visit and to reflect, to review the performance of his administration.
Okay, let me use the opportunity of this topic to do a big shout out to my friends in whose house I always go to do reflections. Temitope Omotayo, Ebato. Because even though I have my own house, you know, I'm a landlord in my own house, I have big compound, and but sometimes my children, their noise, and the fact that when I'm around, it is when their mother will say, come and help me do this work, come and help me do that work. And there are some times when, as a creative, I told you that over the course of last weekend, I had to write about 15 jingles. I had to do like 10 AWs and then write about 2 songs. And I was on a very tight deadline. So I had to run to my friend's house again. It's not that I don't have my house. It's not that my house does not have all the conveniences. But because I know my children would disturb me, I had to run to his house, you know, do my reflection, enjoy myself, you know, and then come back home fully refreshed, fully energized, and completed all the work that I've gone to do. So in the same vein, you might look at, oh, this visit to France is too much and all the rest. But we have so polarized Nigerian system, both the civil service and the extent that the president does not even feel safe in Abuja, and it does not start with this president. It is from the days of Yara that civil servants who work with the president, when they have access to it, now because of social media, they cannot differentiate between what to share with media, what to share with the outside world, and what should remain secret. And many of these civil servants, you know, signed oath of secrecy when they were collecting the civil service job. But because many of them don't like who is the president at a particular point in time, they get to leak information that shouldn't be leaked. And when that happens, it has a bigger national effect, you know, security, on the security of our nation, on the progress of our nation. Because while we say, oh, this person, maybe we like him or we don't like him, and then we go and share information that we are not supposed to share, we are opening up our nation to easy attack by external forces.
Benga, going by your analogy, yeah, you are saying
yes,
that there is nowhere within the Nigerian space, within the entire country, that the president can go relaxed, excluded from Nigerians, excluded from
it will
interference for
seem
2
so.
weeks.
Let me finish my analysis, and you will understand.
Please
So,
do.
if he comes to Lagos,
yes,
every time he comes to Lagos, it is people that will come online and say, oh, they are blocking all the roads. So, because a lot of people who wants to see him and talk to him, and at a particular point in time, he doesn't want to see anybody, he doesn't want to talk to anybody. He wants to see just a few members of his internal kitchen cabinet to be able to cross-check issues. And you see, in order to drown out this noise, Lagos cannot be come to. Like Prince Francis Shilaka has said, if he goes to Obudu, people will come and find him in Obudu, and then all these things will continue. But you see, if you go to a neutral ground where you are not the president of Nigeria, and you can easily say, I don't want this person to see me, I don't want anybody to see me except with the people that I came with, they are able to concentrate and drown out all the external noises. We saw during Yaradua's time where a lot of confidential information that are not supposed to be leaked out to the press, despite FOI bill, it is not everything that press is supposed to know. If you remember during the Mumbai hotel attack, it was the press that was, trying to be the first to do breaking news that made sure that the attackers were able to kill a lot more people, because as they were giving the attacker information by their breaking news in the press, the attackers were able to know where to hit, where to attack. It was until there was a total press shutdown that the Indian government was able to bring that Mumbai attack under control. The same thing, whenever President John travels out of the country, he goes even with his own toilet. Yes.
Benga, I am really miffed at this point. I am really shocked.
Okay.
And I say with due respect to you, I'm shocked at the position you're taking. We're talking about a country. We're talking about the president of this country. We're talking about the fact that even though now he has traveled to France, give him another 2-3 days, all the governors will start traveling to France. All the ministers will start going to France. All the legislators will start going to France. And then do you know how much money we are making for France? Why are we not thinking as human beings in this country? Why are we not, being very honest with ourselves and telling truth to power to our leaders? I mean, for the explanation you have given, why is it that you have not gone to Cotonou to go and relax? Why are you not going to Togo or Ghana to go and relax? You go to your friend within your vicinity.
It is not within my vicinity. I live in Mowe. My friend lives in Shagamu.
I'm coming. I mean, what is so special that African leaders will never allow slave mentality to get out of their blood system?
It is not about slave mentality. It is about peculiarity of situation.
Benga, I am telling you the truth. I am telling you the truth that Mr. President does not care about the plight of Nigerians. Mr. President is being very insensitive. He's misusing the resources of this country.
I beg to disagree.
Okay.
This is not leadership.
Gentlemen.
By example. Mr. President is not leading by example.
Gentlemen, so that we can communicate and make our points clear. Gentlemen, okay. I'll just give Benga, you've had your turn. Let me come to Prince Francis, and then I would get your thought responding to Prince Francis. Prince Francis, you were saying that this is insensitive. The president is not sensitive to the plight of Nigerians. Please make your point so Benga can respond.
All I'm saying is that, if you have a father and you have crisis and your children have been crying, that we have not had food to eat, we are hungry, we are starving, and then a reasonable father now wakes up from sleep and goes to check into Sheraton Hotel or Radisson Blu or any of the big hotels, and you're telling the children they should bear with you. You're telling them that you're going to that hotel is to reflect. And wicked father. And that is the way I place Mr. President right now. Because Mr. President could have gone to Jos. He will develop the economy of Plateau State. He could have gone to Cross River State. We keep talking about the fact that our tourism sector is dying. It is because our leaders have failed in their stride to add value to tourism.
Let's go to Benga now. Benga, that maybe is a point you want to respond to. The point around about tourism. Isn't that a valid point too? We're spending so much. We'll be spending hard currencies, foreign currencies.
It is not a valid point.
To go to Paris, France to relax.
The sole reason why I am still saying today, the sole reason why I am still saying today that you can call me for your show is that when the troubles of life come hitting at me, and sometimes there might not even be enough money for the home front, I will just, if my friend is out of the country, I will go and lodge myself in the hotel with the last money that I have. Because you see, that spending 1 night, 2 nights, or even the weekend in the hotel and being able to recalibrate my brain is what brings peace to the home, is what brings me the idea to make the next money to solve the challenge that is making. My own point is that we have driven our politicians to the state where they do not feel safe, even in the government house, where they know that amongst the people, the president will not do everything by himself. The governors will not do everything by themselves. And if they do not feel safe, such that the civil servants who are supposed to protect them, who are supposed to work with them, who are supposed to make sure that what's supposed not to be leaked to the public does not leak to the public, are the ones who are leaking the things to the public, then they will feel so unsafe. They will look for their safest enclave to go to. So while you might blame the president, let us also speak to ourselves as people who work with these government officials who, because we want to chase clout, we want to break news, are making their job hard for them. If you check the British, even the journalistic society in Britain, there are things that as open as they pretend to be, there are things that they will make sure does not get to public.
All right.
There are things I remember vividly. I think I've used the example on one of your other shows before, when a fight broke out in I think Zurich, European Parliament headquarters, when one member of the European Parliament from Ukraine, got into a fist fight with another member of European Parliament, and then there was blood on his face. I was watching it live. Sky News was showing it live. BBC was showing it live. The moment that fight broke out and, there was fisticuff, they switched to another news entirely, because they wanted to protect that image of a sane, of a, very well-cultured parliament that they have. We don't have that in our media sharing, in our information protection. And we are not hurting the people who hold power when we do all these things. We are hurting our nation entirely, the entire architecture. So if that drives a president to want to seek seclusion in a place where he feels safe, I will support him 100%. Yes, it might not be good for our tourism and but you see, you don't build a house from the rooftop, you build a house from the foundation. And if the foundation is destroyed, there's nothing the righteous can do. Very
quickly, I'll turn to Prince Francis. Before that, though, stick with you, Benga, just for a bit, and talk about the distrust amongst Nigerians. This trip to Paris looks exactly like the constant trip and the consistent stay, or the long stay of former President Muhammadu Buhari in London for the long time. And so we're seeing a repetition, direct mirroring of what happened in the last administration. Do you want to speak to that? Do you think really, what do you say, rather, about Prince Francis? I'm coming to you just in a moment, right? There's this undertone. Nigerians feel like the media management team or communication team of the president is not completely truthful when they say that the president is going to reflect on the reforms of his administration. Rather, is going for something different. Benga.
Whatever it is, whether they are being truthful or not, I have spoken about the underlying cause that is driving everybody to look for a secret place where they can be alone, where the things they don't want leaked out will not be leaked out. Whatever the case, even if it is for health, even if it is for any other thing, until our people in power feel safe, in the sense that I'm not talking about in the area of misbehavior, but in their statutory duties, where we don't have civil servants leaking information that they are not supposed to leak, when we don't have people who swore oath of secrecy leaking information that they are not supposed, until we get there where the individual Nigerian who is in the civil service working with these people knows that he owes a service to the nation by keeping the secret that he is supposed to keep and not leaking them to chase clout, then the people will not feel safe.
Prince Francis, how do you respond to this?
You know, I really don't understand the mindset of Benga today, but then I know Benga has always been this kind of a person who sees red and calls it white and call it green.
No, I'm not sure that's a fair assessment.
It's really painful.
Prince Francis,
let me finish, please.
Prince Francis,
it is really painful.
Before we continue, to be fair to Benga, right?
I am a constant liar who does not know what is the truth is. And truth,
I didn't call you a liar.
But that is what you mean. I am a Yoruba man who understands meanings of every word. You said I always see white and call it black, red and call it green.
Benga, let me tell you where I'm coming from so that you will understand.
Please clarify that. Yes.
You have. I mean, that is an indictment on our civil service. You have left the core issue. The core issue is that we have insecurity ravaging the land. We have hunger and poverty ravaging Nigerians. And you are saying that it is only proper for Mr. President to go abroad to go and think of how to curb insecurity, because if he stays in Nigeria to think of how to curb insecurity, it will be leaked. I mean, how do we define that? How does it really sink in to say that the only reason why a president should travel is that the president no longer feels safe among those who are working for him? So if the president doesn't feel safe among those who are working for him, why doesn't he sack them? Why do you have people you can no longer
he sacks them? It is the same you that will say he's sacking a section of people, because if he sacks, he will have to replace them by his most trusted and most trusted allies, and those most trusted of the most trusted allies will likely be people from his own region or his own part of the country, and it is the same you and I that will come on media again that will say he is doing ethnic purging or ethnic cleansing in the civil service.
My question to you, and I want you to be honest and sincere with the answer of this question. We are having insecurity challenges in Nigeria, and you do not think that the right thing for Mr. President to do is to sit strategy and ways to come against insecurity. So to you, you believe that it's only going to France that he'll be able to find a solution. This is his fifth trip. I'm coming, Benga, hold on. This is the fifth trip to France. Please, Mr. Benga, tell me, what have we as Nigerians, as the citizens of this country, benefited out of these 5 trips to France?
Benefits from whatever a government does not necessarily come into something that an average man like you and I will see immediately. But the people who are high up there, who are in the business world, they are seeing the benefits. People, our all-share index, our stock market is at its all-time high. So, and that is the reason why countries like America will not leave the masses to determine who becomes their president. That's why they have electoral college. And go and check those who are in the electoral college. It is the high-powered people who control the economy, who control the business world, who are landowners and things like that constitute the electoral college. So I, as an ordinary 2 kobo per month citizen, may not be able to see. But if the likes of Tony Elumelu, Dangote, and the rest of them are saying they are seeing this reform, and of course, when we read our news report of the Nigerian stock market, we are seeing a very huge shift and growth, you know. Yes, it might not have reached everywhere at the same time. For everything that happens in the world, you don't expect, even if somebody has malaria or headache, when it is not immediately you use the drug that you expect the symptoms to disappear.
All right.
It may take effect step by step. So all these things we are saying, it does the going to France of president stops him from having synergy with the security operatives, and when he talks and gives his command to the security operatives, will he be the one who stands at the checkpoint? Because just this morning on a newspaper review show, you talked about how police in Uromi, who are supposed to be protecting and maintaining peace in Uromi, were extorting people. It was all over the news. Will the president be there to be on ground personally to stop them?
All right.
So all these things we are saying, we put the blame on the desk of the president, but sometimes we do not separate what is the failure of our governors that is making the president look bad. What is the failure of our councillors and chairman of the local government that is making the president look bad?
We need to go now. We need to go now. All right, then. We've got to go, gentlemen. I'd like to thank you so much for being a part of the show today. We've been discussing the president's visit. Another visit. It is called the work visit. It's going to be for 2 weeks. And that's what the presidency said. And they say that the president would be there in Paris, France, to reflect on some of the achievements of the president this past 2 years or less, right? All right. Gentlemen, political commentators, Gbenga Paul and Prince Francis Chilaka, thank you so much for being a part of the show. All right. Until next time, on Crosstalk, Kingsley Bass is my name. In the comment section, let me know what you think, how you feel about the president's frequent trips. And of course, this particular one, you'd miss the president for 2 weeks, wouldn't you? Well, let me know in the comment section. I'll be reading and be commenting as well. Thanks, and God continue to bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Bye.
Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.